What's going on, people? It's Mr. back again with another preview show. I hope everyone's fit and well. And yes, Nottingham Forest are back on their travels. This time we're against Everton. Another big game, another massive game for Nottingham Forest. What is your score prediction, people? Put in the comments below as well. If you're new to the channel, please do hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and like to comment below, people. What is your score prediction for tomorrow's game? Before we do get Mike on, I want to ask you one massive favor for me, if you can. As you know, the Football Content Awards are back. The voting is begun. All I'm going to do is ask one massive favor for me. The link is in the description as well. Go on the Instagram, and all you've got to do is tag my name on I think it's a Football Club Content Awards show. So all you've got to do, people, tag my name and vote for me. I appreciate all the support that you have. Right, let's start. Like I said, massive game for Nottingham Forest. I've got a special guest in Mike from Blues Boys Network. How you doing, Mike?
Yeah, good. Thanks for having me on, guys, and welcome back to the Premier League. If you haven't noticed, I am actually in a hotel bed of breakfast.
People.
So hopping on to support you guys. It's fantastic that you're back in the Premier League. It's been a long, long time, and welcome back. And I wish you all the best after Saturday.
Before we do start, I think Mike has got a YouTube channel called Blues Boys Network. Mike, give me a little thing about your YouTube channel.
Yeah, so I started my channel about 4 years ago now, and been fortunate enough to go on, the BBC, Sky Sports, been on the Don Robbie channel several times over the last few months and years. Got a good following, 12,500 subscribers. So if you can hit me up and subscribe as well, really appreciate it. And I'm sure my guys will come over to you and subscribe to you. So just like a bit of banter, casual, it can be as dark humoured as you like. Try to do some lives, try to do match previews, rumour mills. So if you are interested in anything that's going on at Everton, check me out.
Like I said, people, he's in the comments. So people as well, please give Mike some support. Before we do talk about and go through comments as well, there's quite a lot of people saying hello. This is from Kieran. How you doing, Kieran? From Stuart Yestor, what's the best start 11 formation? I'll talk about that later on. Hadi, how you doing, Hadi, as well? From Warren, how you doing, Warren? Thank you for the voting as well. From how you doing, Kev? 2-0 to Forest. Albertus from Canada, my guy. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing, Nick? And as well, last but not least, and we've got Mark as well. And he's saying, thanks for the kind welcome, Mike. Right, let's start. We know. Let's talk about Everton, Mike. And I've said it. I've said it on all platforms. I'm not a fan of Frank Lampard, not just because he's got the Derby connection, but as an Everton fan, what the hell is happening with your club? Talk to people.
Yeah, so look, you've got an Everton team that is over the last 6 years has had £600 million invested in it. And this is the team that we have, which is a complete mess. It's not good enough for the Premier League. And I don't think any Everton fan would sit there and say that they're proud of this team, because we're not. None of us are. What I would say is Frank came in January and he had a really tough ask. He had to put the fan base back together because it was decimated after Rafa Benitez come in. And one thing I would say about Frank Lampard is, although he tactically sometimes is naive, strategically, he doesn't think out games particularly well, I would argue. I would say that he's got the fan base on side on the majority. I would say that we support him, we back him, because we know that if we disagree with something, he also disagrees with it. He's many times had to go back at the media. He's had to go at referees. So, yeah, we support Frank. It's a tough job for him because Everton is a massive rebuild on limited costs simply because of financial fair play. Everton would easily go out and spend 150, 200 million pound every summer, because we're fortunate enough to be in that position where there's multiple billionaires that back Everton. But the facts are that money hasn't been invested wisely. And now we're having to, because of financial fair play, we're having to be really careful with who we sign and what we sign and players that go out. And unfortunately, that is the mess that we are in until next season and probably the new stadium gets finished.
I've seen, and we talked before the show, and I've seen a comment with this is from Russell. And what do you think of Everton fans thinking about our recruitment team copying our homework? And we're seeing like Mike and the players that we've got, you was linked with him, like we mentioned, Nakate for centre back, Lingard. We're talking about Morgan Gibbs White. That's people. That's after. There's another show at 9:45, 10:45 after the show. That's we're talking about Morgan Gibbs White, but today it's about Everton. I'm baffled. Like, I'm not saying, like I said, you should be getting better players than him, but shouldn't you be like, you've got players like Dele Alli, fantastic keeper, and you're getting rid of him? As an Everton fan, Mike, what's it like? Just, it's baffling to me.
Yeah, it's a switch in recruitment. It's going from players that, for example, Andre Gomez, £120,000 a week, Yuri Mina, £135,000 a week. The days of the Gylfi Sigurdssons, £120,000 a week. It's about trying to unearth these gems going forward. We've done that in Amadou Onana. We've been linked, obviously, with Morgan Gibbs White. We actually had an offer rejected from Wolves at the start of the transfer window, and Everton never followed it up until last night when they tried to hijack your deal, which, again, I find baffling. That only means, in my mind, that Anthony Gordon's leaving the club to Chelsea, because that's the only reason that would make sense. So, yeah, I think they're impressed with the Forest model. It's a positive that you guys have. You've come into the Premier League. You've spent a lot of money. You've done that. I don't know if I can swear on your channel, but there's the whole.
Keep going. Just do it. Just say it.
There's a whole shit or bust approach, really. But I admire that 16 signings, over £100 million spent on good players, and it's a credit to Nottingham Forest that teams, and I'm not saying that Everton are bigger than Forest or anyone actually, but I'm saying it's a credit that Premier League teams who have been established for a long time in the Premier League are looking at the business you guys are doing and saying, do you know what, we want a bit of that. That's a positive for you guys.
I was just we spoke about Lampard, and I spoke to you about it before the show, Mike. Like, this is from Rocketfield Gardens. Mike, do you think Lampard will survive the sack? Because Forest fans will know how I feel. Like I said, I'm not trying to disrespect Everton. I'm trying to see the manager-wise. Like I said, Lampard's got connections with Derby, and people might think he was with them because of, and he didn't do well with Chelsea. He did bad for you at the end of last season. He's not started great for you this season. So what's your thoughts as well? And do you think Lampard's the man to get you step you up? Because like I said, he's not like been. I know you said he'll agree with you Everton fans, but at the same time, it's the points on the pitch that matters, don't
it? He's in a tough position because there will be Everton fans that will absolutely be saying they don't want him, that he'll be sacked at the start of October. I was speaking to one literally the other day, and he was saying, look, he won't be there in November. I get it. I understand why he thinks that. For me, he's going to be down to results and down to the end of this transfer window, because he needs a striker. He needs an attacking midfielder. He needs a winger. Defensively, we look okay. We look fine. So he needs those players. If Everton are bottom of the league or in the bottom three come December, then yeah, Frank Lampard will be sacked as Everton manager. But for me, I'm kind of hoping he's not. I'm hoping he's given that chance to develop. He's a young coach. I'm fed up of getting these young managers, and not, this isn't just Everton. This is in general. These managers, and as soon as it gets rough, it gets a bit tough. They're sacked. They're gone. And it's the same in any manager. What I want to see is Frank given the opportunity. I want him to make his mistakes early and develop. And if he doesn't, then he rightly so should be sacked. But at the minute, he's got time. In my opinion, he's got time. He's got time to make those mistakes. So it's recruitment. This is his transfer window. He needs to be backed by the board and not put in a corner. He needs to say, I want this player, go and get him. And we're not seeing enough of that. And that's not Frank's fault. That's the board who Everton have got whole new issues with.
You know what? I was mentioning the board because, like I said, it's been documented, like the board, selling the club, blah, blah, blah. Like, what's your opinion on that? Because, like I said, from outside looking in, they're not, like I said, Forest fans, am I being hard on Lampard? I don't know. They're just like, the board like I said, I don't see him as like the Forest era when we had him.
Mm.
With your board, it's a bit touch and go. So what's your opinion on your board on that?
The board were a mess. The board were a mess. If I could take the board out of Everton Football Club myself, I would. If I had I don't know, £500 million quid to buy Everton Football Club and get rid of a lot of them, I would. Farhad Moshiri has pumped a lot of money into the club, but he's allowed that money to be given to idiots who have destroyed the club. If you think of some of the signings Everton have made over the years, £47 million Gylfi Sigurdsson, £30 million Klassen, £27 million Cenk Tosun. These are players that people may not have heard of. Then you've got players like Balassi, 28 million.
Yeah.
We've spent a lot of money on players that, in my opinion, are average. Michael Keane, 30 million. There's so much money that has been wasted that no matter what manager you put in charge, they're almost hamstrung. It doesn't matter who you put in charge. We saw it with Carlo Ancelotti. He could only spend £60 million when he was the Everton manager. If he'd have spent 120, who knows where Everton might have gone. The board are a joke because what they've been good at is building a stadium. The stadium's on the go. It's going to look fantastic. It's going to look amazing. All of these positives, but on the pitch and everything around the scenes is a complete and utter mess. And for any manager managing this club, Everton are not an attractive proposition. You're not going to see people jumping at the chance to manage Everton because it looks from the outside like a sinking ship with a brand new stadium.
Bloody hell. People in the comments, how do you feel what Mike just said about Everton? Like I said, they're a big club. I remember you had David Moyes as manager. You had, was it, what's his name? The old 95, was it Joe Royce? Joe Royce, I think his name is.
Joe Royal, yeah.
Joe Royal, that's it. Yeah, them managers, yeah, good players as well. Like, I'm a good friend of Kevin Campbell, legend. He was a legend for your club as well. And to see your club like that, like I said, it's sad to say, but like I said, I hope we batter it tomorrow because, like I said, we've got to take advantage. And before we change subject, Mike, like I said, I was saying it on to another Everton's channel, like, it's strange because we've got to take advantage of the situation because, like I said, you've lost your 2 games in a row. Tough teams as well, but people, I say, when you hear the mainstream media are like Everton are a team that got to take advantage of beating us, and like, are you worried about tomorrow? Like, could be a third straight defeat.
Yeah, I'm worried about playing anyone at the minute, and that's not disrespecting Forest or anyone. That's me saying I'm worried about playing anyone because while we don't have a strike force and any creativity, it wouldn't surprise me if we keep a clean sheet. It wouldn't surprise me if it's 0-0, but we can't score a goal, and that's Everton's issue. If you was to say to me, Mike, are you concerned about Lingard? No disrespect, no, I'm not. Are you scared about the lad that scored last week for you, the £17 million signing? Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not concerned, and that's not because I'm not saying they're not good players, but defensively is our best position. So if I'm concerned about that as well, I'm really worried.
Yeah, you know what it is because you brought in quality players, like you brought in Conor Cody, you brought
James Tarkowski.
Yeah, from Burnley as well. Top defenders. And you've got, like I said, people can forget you've got Pickford in goal, England international as well. So we've got to break them down. And like I said, it's not, Forest fans, we can keep saying it's going to be an easy game because Everton lost to the team. But no, Forest fans, we need to remember it's going to be a tough game against a tough side. Like I said, they've got some good players. Like, I keep forgetting, they've got Gordon. He's a good player as well. He's been linked with Chelsea this week. And before we do, like I said, are you like what was your prediction for the start of the season? Was you worried about getting relegated to the championship?
I said Everton would finish. I think I predicted 15th. What Everton need to do is not be in a relegation battle until the last game of the season, like last season. We need to make sure that we are out of the relegation battle by April. I think teams like Forest, like Bournemouth, like Leeds, ourselves, Fulham, I think we're all in this mix. Brentford, I think they're the 6 teams that are going to finish between 14th and 20th. And that's not me. Again, you guys may have real aspirations because the money you've signed. It's such a big jump in the Premier League. I would always suggest to any newly promoted fan, just temper it just a little bit. I wish you guys all the best, just like I do Fulham, just like I do anyone else that comes up. I just take it easy potentially, because if you can go to Goodison Park tomorrow and get a point or 3 points, it's a great result for a newly promoted side going to a team like Everton, who have been a staple of the Premier League. And that's me just being honest. I'd say exactly the same going to West Ham, going to Spurs, going to these teams that have been there since day one. My thinking is that Forest may go there. The fans will be very confident, and so they should. They played fantastic last week. They weren't particularly bad in the first game of the season either. They'll go there full of confidence, look at this Everton side and go, do you know what? They're there for the taking. That is, if we attack them, if we play through the lines, we'll beat these guys. That's where you just got to just worry and just go, do you know what? Actually, we're away from home in the Premier League. We didn't win our first away game. Let's see if we can get a result in this one. And if you can, fair play to you. You've come to Goodison Park and got a really good result. There won't be loads of teams that come to Everton and get results this season. Chelsea are a top 4 side. If you can do it as well, credit to you. That's why I personally think you will lose tomorrow, but it's no disrespect, because I think I think you will play very well. I just want you to just temper your expectations just at the minute.
I think it is, you know what it is. I think it is like before we change, but I said I get it. I understand what you mean. Like I said, we brought in 15 players. We've got some good players. Like I said, we brought
absolutely
some players in, but I get it. Like I said, we can't thinking of we're going to smash every single club, because Premiership is a different animal to the Championship.
Fulham did it. Fulham did it 2 years ago. They spent £130 million. They brought in fantastic players, including Siri and Guisa. They signed sensational players that are playing in Juventus, Roma, big teams, big teams. This is what I'm just saying. Just pull it back a little bit, Forest fans, because I don't want you to go down, and I want you to stay in the Premier. Now you're back.
Everyone else wants us to go down.
Do you know what it is? There's a respect thing, whether it was a lifetime ago. Nottingham Forest have always been disrespected because they haven't been in the Premier League in recent years. But actually, this is a team that won 2 European Cups. This is a team that had sensational history. This is a team that deserves to be at the top level of English football. So for me, look, I don't want you to win on Saturday. I want you to lose. But I've got no issue with you guys going and winning the next 54 games of the season and having a great time. I just want you to let's get out the transfer window and then settle and then go out.
People, I cannot wait to September the 2nd. I cannot wait to because as you know, we've been linked with every single player. Right, people, if you're new to the channel, please do hit the like button if you can. Please subscribe if you're new. I've got Mike next to me. If you can, people, subscribe to his channel. It's called Blues Boys Network. It's linked in the description as well. Before we get the score predictions, Mike, from you, I've got some questions for you. This is from Warren Who. For Mike, who would you most want at Everton out of Forest signings? We brought 15 players in. Who would you want? As you know, people, before if you just turned up, Everton have been linked with the same players as Forest. So, Mike, what players would you want in the Forest team to Everton?
I can't pronounce his name, but the striker up front.
Tawia Wanley.
Yeah, him. We need a striker. He seems quality. He scored in his debut last week, or him. He'll adapt to the Premier League very well, I think.
Let me look for this. Is from Adam. How you doing, Adam? Mike, who do you think is your best player?
Do you know who I rate really highly, who you've managed to sign? And I think Man United are now having kittens about it. Dean Henderson. I mean, he is sensational as a goalkeeper. So for a position, I'd go Dean Henderson. Morgan Gibbs-White's going to be up there as well. But Yeah, for me, Dean Henderson, I think that's a very clever signing. A solid goalkeeper, knows what it takes to stay in the Premier League. We can all go and talk about your Jesse Lingards and your other signings, and they're all fantastic signings. You haven't made a bad signing, but for me, the key one, Dean Henderson.
100%. People in the comments, do you agree with Mike? I think I do. I think he's a class goalkeeper. I think we needed a Premier League experience goalkeeper as well, because as you know, Samba left as well. 2 more questions, Mike. I've always said to all my rival fans, I think you said it already. Where will Everton finish? But didn't you say 15th?
It's gonna be between. If Everton can bring in a striker and a decent one, it could be 13th, 14th. But as of right now, the fact we've lost our 2 first games this season, it wouldn't surprise me at all if we lost tomorrow. It wouldn't. I'm hoping not, but it wouldn't surprise me. I think 15th, 16th is probably about where we are.
I'm surprised. As a person looking back there, I mentioned Everton's past they have. They've had good play. Remember, it's Dave Watson, a fantastic defender you had. Unsworth as well. Good players.
Everton, I mean, we're one of them clubs, aren't we? And, we've won 9 English top flight titles. We've won 5 FA Cups. We've been in 18 semi-finals. We've won a European Cup Winners' Cup, not quite a European Cup like yourselves, but we've got a big history. We are technically on paper either the 4th or 5th most successful football team in English history. We've still won more league titles than Chelsea and Manchester City, and unfortunately, we're just a mile away from that. So we have to accept that and move on. Everton were one of the founding members of the Premier League. They were actually the first one that sent the first letter to their rival club saying, look, we don't want this first division anymore. We want to make a Premier League. That was Everton. So we've gone from being that club 25 years ago, and now where we are is just horrendous.
100%. Last but not least, I like to said people as well, get in the comments as well. What is your score prediction for tomorrow's game? Last but not least, Mike, what is your score prediction tomorrow?
I think 1-0 Everton, and that's me. That's me.
Days.
That's me. We do need it.
But I think people like I said, I'm going to keep my guns. People know I'm not going to do my score prediction. I don't do my score predictions before the game. So I think I'll wait. As all people know, I'll be going to the game, but I'll talk that at the next show. But yeah, it's been really interesting, Mike, from my Everton fan.
I've got a little party trick. So I think I'm not going to tell it. I'm not going to say it. You don't have to confirm it, but I think your score prediction's 2-0 Forest.
I'll wait. You can wait to watch the vlog, people. You can watch the vlog. So, Mike, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for coming on the show as well. And as well, people, there's 187 people in. Thank you for everyone that's coming on. If you can, just do one massive favor for Mike. If you can, subscribe to his channel as well. He's got a great channel as well. If you are new to my channel, people, please do hit the subscribe button as well. But yeah, people, I'll be back in another 50 minutes because, as you know, we've signed Morgan Gibbs-White. I've got Des, I've got Ellie, I've got Molly on my channel as well. I'll be there at 9:45. So people, if you can, have a little 15-minute break, come back on my channel as well. But like I said, people, enjoy it. If you are going to the game, I will be vlogging as well. So if any Everton fans as well, come to me as well. But yeah, people, 15 minutes, I'll be back. But like I said, Mike, thank you very much for coming to the channel. But one last thing, can you do a favor for me? Can you sit up the Reds for me?
Not a chance. Not because it's Forest, but because I can't say Reds on here. I can't say that. Do you know, seriously, I'm that petty. I went to the pleasure beach earlier with my little boy. I'm here with my little boy, and there was a car ride at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. Can't remember what it was called. And there was a red car, and I genuinely said, "You can let them have it." Like, I can't get in that. I don't own any red. Honestly, don't do it. But I will say, good luck, Forest. Good luck for the rest of the season. I hope you lose tomorrow, but I hope you stay up, and I hope you have a great season. The season to come in the Premier League.
Thank you very much, Mike, for that. Like I said, people, subscribe to Mike, subscribe to me. I'll see you in another 15 minutes, people. Right. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, everyone. I'll see you in 15 minutes. Up the Reds.